Infinite madness in the spiral of human. Nothing controls us, nothing breathes. The void awakens in the quicken. Eternal master, never slave. Carry your dreams down into the grave. It's alive! Can you feel it? Take you home again. In your mind, all your demons are in That's what happens when you search for The Void on YouTube. You're just going to get death metal. That's how it works.
That's pretty funny, actually. I'd never thought that that's what would come up, but it makes sense now that you say it.
Not only that, it's pretty much all that came up was just death metal after heavy metal.
Yeah.
Apparently, The Void is a very common theme in that area of music. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Noun O'Clock live at the Noun Square. This is a little space that we do every single day or night, depending on when the end of the Nouns auction is. If you'd like to follow along with us, we are watching the end of the Nouns auction at nounoclock.app. And if you go to nounoclock.app, you'll see a beautiful greasy void noun that we minted yesterday, hence the void song on the intro. Currently 3 minutes and 39 seconds remaining on this auction. And pretty good action on it so far. 33.3, the top bid at the moment. Ben, you think we're going to get another bid in here or what?
I mean, visually, I think it deserves it. It is an amazing looking noun. But I don't know. The bids lately have been sort of hovering around this area. I think anyone that's looking at getting one now, I'm potentially going to look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to try and get one for 32 tomorrow. So,
Yeah,
not
but then it
quite
won't be a
sure.
greasy. Then it won't be a greasy noun. That's the problem, right? So
Yeah,
it won't be a greasy
oh,
void. Sorry. Yeah.
that's right.
One of the nice things about this too is I kind of like how the noggles are almost invisible. Not quite, but almost.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine they were the same as the background. That'd be amazing. Hey, before we get too far into the show, we should remind everyone to retweet the space. And if you've got any questions, jump in the little chat bubble and ask away, and we'll periodically check in there. And if you don't want to get on stage, because at the moment Spaces is broken, and they're not putting the purple circle on PFPs when you're in a space, so no one knows we're in
Come
the
on,
space.
Twitter.
Yeah, so we need to
Come
tell
on,
everybody.
Elon, do something, man. Jeez.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to give away
Yeah.
0.069 ETH anyway for retweeting the space, so you might even get paid to be here.
There you go. Jeez, I hope I win.
Yeah, I know. We're getting scammed. We can't even win.
I'm going to go off. Someone else host. I'm going to come back as a listener, okay? Because I want to win 0.069.
Be right back, spinning up more accounts. Yeah, someone just put in another
BRB.
bid, 34.65. So
Yes, they
I
did.
was way off.
Somebody just put in a bid of 34.65. 465 would be a great deal for a noun, in my opinion.
They missed
But
the opportunity of 3, 4, 5,
34.65.
6, probably because of the minimum bid.
Oh, that's definitely a missed opportunity, though. If it was possible, two missed opportunities right there. They could have gone 3, 4, 5, 6 or 3, 4, 6, 9. So really, there's no excuse for the lack of a meme bid there. I'm sorry, 0x093 to put you on blast like that, but this is nouns, and you bid for the culture. So
Yeah, for the culture.
yeah.
And speaking of culture, I've shared some of our links in the nounoclock.app chat. It's been pretty stagnant in that chat, and I just noticed, so I decided to connect and spam the wall with a bunch of our links for TNS. So,
Nice.
For the culture.
Good idea. Maybe we can get some of those pinned up in the nest too as the space rolls on. We are excited to have Valko joining us. He sent me a message a little bit ago. He's running a couple minutes late, so hopefully he gets here before we start playing FOMO, or he's going to think that we are insane people. But he's going to be here any minute. If you're not familiar with Valko, he's Punk7642. Recently bought the Saguaro Cactus noun for 485 and made a really cool thread about why he bought the noun and his thesis basically on why CC0 is more blockchain native or more Web3 than any other kind of licensing. So really excited to chat with him about all those things. And I just saw him walk into the room.
Yep,
So
he's here.
Get him up
also,
on stage.
Don't worry about him thinking we're crazy. He's been DMing with me. That ship has sailed.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. What did we tell you, Robot Fish Girl, about
What did
staying
you
away
do?
from people? My goodness.
Why did we let you out?
We have so many. I need to make somebody a co-host here. Just a second. I'm going to invite a couple people. Just whoever can accept the co-host. We need to make room here for Valko. We forgot to make room for our guest. All right. Now we should be able to get him up here. Gotta love Twitter Spaces. He's connecting, and we got him.
Flawless
Welcome.
technology with no flaws.
That's right. Welcome, Valko. Thanks for joining us. Are you there, sir?
I'm here. How we doing, guys?
Thanks. We're doing so good. Thanks for
welcome.
joining us in the so-called DGen hours. Appreciate it. I was DMing with Valko, and he's like, "Sure, this sounds great. So when do you guys hold this space?" And then it's always time for like, "Well, about that. Right now, it's in the middle of the night, and it's only going to get worse. So you better join us now."
Yeah, but you were right.
Join us
If
now,
I didn't join it now, I was gonna get into the wee hours of the morning. So I'm here at 11:37 Central Time. Not too bad.
Nice. Some of us are at 12:30. Some of us are in Australia, and they're right in the middle of their day. So kind of all over the place here. We've got Akva down there from Brazil. I think for you guys, it's after midnight too, right, Akva?
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. in here. Terrible.
Oh, wow. It's even later. I didn't know that. So just to recap a couple of things that we went over before you joined, Valko. This is 9 o'clock live. It's a space that we do here on the Noun Square every single day. We've been doing it every single day now for, I think, 207 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So every single day we've been here whenever 9 o'clock has fallen, talking about nounish things, having nounish guests, giving away prizes, minting the new noun for the next day. So that's what this is all about. We're currently watching the end of the auction for noun 567, the Greasy Void that we minted together as a group yesterday on fomonouns. And looks like the action for this auction is heating up at the end here. We got another bid now from mksala.eth with a hefty 55.19 reserve ETH left in his wallet. Just put in a splash bid here of 37 ETH. So curious to see if that's going to knock out the competition. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Nice to see a little bit of a bidding war because this is such a nice noun.
It is. What do you think, Valko? What do you like this noun?
I dig it. I haven't actually seen this head before. What do we call this one?
Yeah, this is a void head.
We actually minted 3 voids in a row once. 3 days in a row with FOMO nouns. So you avoid, and then the next day we're like, void head.
Oh, yeah. Only voids. I remember that.
How many
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
268, I think. Or 65.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Prof, you would know better than me.
Wow. So the odds of 3 in a row are insane.
Yeah, it's crazy odds.
Well, the odds in pure randomness are yes, definitely insane. But with FOMO nouns, it's a little different. Are you familiar with FOMO nouns, Valko? If not, we can explain it to you. So what FOMO nouns is back in December of 2021, some devs put together a gamification layer for the settlement layer of nouns. So when a noun auction ends, so in 4 minutes and 6 seconds here, if nobody else bids, the nouns auction will end, and a little button would normally pop up at the end of an auction that says settle the auction. And that basically, just communicates with the blockchain to send the NFT to your wallet, and that's the end of the auction. And that also mints the new noun based on the block that happens in. But FOMO gamified this layer by making essentially a UI that's hot or not, that we can all go and we can see which noun would be minted right now if we settled the next noun. So we play here on this show every single day FOMO nouns together, and we try to mint aesthetic nouns. And that's why so many of the nouns over the past year, if we do say so ourselves, have been a lot more cohesive and aesthetic than maybe they had been in the past. And that's the only reason, or the only way probably, that you'd ever get something like 3 voids in a row, because we just kind of were having fun with it at that time.
That is wild. I love that.
Also, we did cheat a little bit because we minted 2 of them at the same time, because one of them was a nounder noun.
Yeah, what happened was we were watching we were watching the Nouner noun and the regular noun come up at the same time, looking for a good one, and we saw two voids come up at the same time. So of course we minted it, and then the very next day we logged into FOMO, and one of the very first nouns that came up was a void. So of course we had to mint it again, and that made for 3 in a row.
You know, the odds of that is
Triple
probably
void. I love
even
it.
crazier than like just 3 days in a row. Like if it was on the noun to noun and the regular noun at the same time. That's
yeah, because we had nothing to do with that. The fact that it was presented both at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was like 3 of the lucky 7s lining up on the slot machine right there.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got 242 heads at the moment since we added the last 8. So yeah,
awesome. So if you're in a place where you can jump on a browser with us, Valko, we're going to actually take a little break when from the conversation once this auction ends, and we're going to play FOMO together. It'd be awesome if you could join us. It's super fun. So it's at fomonouns.wtf, and that goes for anyone else who's listening who's not familiar. fomonouns.wtf. Get it up in your browser, because as soon as the auction ends, we go over there and it gets pretty chaotic. We're all yelling at each other trying to find the next noun, and it's really fun. And then after FOMO nouns.
Except don't look at FOMO before FOMO, because I did, and there was oh my God, there was a lint ball on top of an icy. It was beautiful. So
well,
if we don't get another bid and FOMO doesn't last too long, we might get it on Nomo. So we might still be able to save it.
Yeah. So what is Nomo
there's
nouns?
Your lead in.
For Valko and anyone else who's new here, what is Nomo nouns? The quick game that we play after FOMO.
Well, yeah, basically if we
Nomo nouns is
you go for it.
Oh, okay. Nomo nouns is the game that we play after FOMO, where sometimes we miss some really good nouns during FOMO, whether it be because we didn't upvote them in time, or we just couldn't agree, or for whatever reason. Sometimes we just get rugged. So what Nomo nouns allows us to do is actually rescue some of those nouns. It shows the last however many nouns we played we had during FOMO. If we don't have enough, then it shows the last 30 then. I don't know the actual number.
Yeah, that's right. There. It's a minimum of 30. So if we get rugged at 1,
minimum of 30. So
we get to see 30.
And you choose your character. You pick your favorite noun of the Nomo nouns, and after the timer counts down, it's 1 minute after FOMO ends. Go to nomo.wtf and you spam click your favorite Nomo noun. You spam click your favorite noun for like your life depends on it. And every 15 seconds or 10 seconds, it eliminates a whole bunch of them, and eventually we work our way down to 1. After we have that 1, it starts at a mint cost of 0.0069 and goes up by 0.001 every 15 minutes. So it incentivizes you being here, and 100% of the proceeds that we get from Nomo go straight into TNS and fund us doing the show.
Awesome. So poor Valko, he's like, I don't know what I thought I was coming for an interview here, not like a games night. What's going on here?
I'm loaded up on my laptop. I'm on FOMO. I'm watching. Awesome. I saw some things I liked, and they are gone now. So I understand.
Prof,
that's what you can't do. I know.
Yeah. See, Prof, by telling people not to go on FOMO before, you basically made sure that they would go on.
No, this is good because
I came to FOMO for FOMO.
Did you see the wee pickle? The wee pickle.
I did.
Oh my God, that was good too.
The only thing worse than going on FOMO. The only thing worse than going on FOMO before FOMO is talking about it after the fact. Now we're all just subjected.
Now all of us have to suffer.
Now we're all
that
experiencing your
with
illegal
the gold
FOMO.
Chain was insane.
Yeah,
well, don't worry, you'll get some good ones, I'm sure.
So
why don't we?
The other game we were just talking about where we do rescue them is nomo.wtf. So if you've got both tabs open, you'll be ready to go for the whole process once the auction finishes, because there's a minute between.
And you do have to connect to play Nomo.
Yeah, Nomo.
That's an important thing. So you have to connect to be able to click. So be sure to connect in advance.
Awesome. All right. So going back to the auction here, just to take a look, it is actually quite a contested auction. We've had 2 bids now from that MK Salah character. He got it up to 39 ETH and then was outbid again by 0x260F at 39.78. But that is the last of the ETH that he has in that wallet. If you're on nouno'clock.app, our front end, alternative front end here for 9 o'clock, you would see that and you'd say, well, gee, I wonder if he's out of ammo or if he's going to reload. What do we think? Are we going to reload here, or is it going to end with one more bid here from MK Sala?
Well,
honestly, it is so crazy to sit here during this and know that you MFers were doing exactly this when I won my auction.
yeah.
Isn't it? You should. Well, you should
we
do,
were.
Valko. You should go back and listen to the Noun.
Oh yeah, go listen
we
to the
record them
recording.
all.
I'll find the space for you and send it to you.
That would be so amazing. Yeah, I remember thought I was so clever. I was bidding against someone and I looked in their wallet and I was like, he doesn't have enough. I'll just place a bid just over his balance, and it worked. I thought I was amazing, but you guys have an entire front end dedicated to it.
If only you'd known.
We have,
but a lot of people don't.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, a lot of people don't know about it, so a lot of people don't use this alpha, and they're digging through either scams like you were. So, if you're gonna bid on a noun, come use NounsClock.app. It's a secret weapon.
I was just gonna say,
not only does it cover their ETH, it'll tell you if there's nouns in that wallet as well. If there's none.
Yeah, that's a cool feature too.
That.
Lets you know if they're an existing nouner or not. So MK Sala back in with the 40.58 ETH. This is the first noun above 40 ETH, and I have to say probably 2 months if I had to say off the top of my head.
I think so.
I'm back at noun 506, which was actually the Ugly DAO trash can for 39.99.
Meth can.
And so it's just exceeded that 39.99. So the day before that was 45.48. Noun 505 on November the 9th. So yeah, it's almost 2 months.
Thank you for reminding Ugly DAO that we bought the Pico top.
Yeah,
we haven't paid. Fantastic.
But we are so back. We are so back, baby. Look at this.
I mean,
we just got to keep.
We were trying to set the floor. You just didn't, help over there.
Yeah, let's not go back to the first one, to the box. I think that was 53 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, we don't talk about the box, but we wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, there's no ugly without the box.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, 3 minutes and 54 seconds. I have a feeling this is probably going to be it. I don't see a reload in the future here at above the 10-day moving average of nouns. Probably not, but who knows? And maybe we get like a new character. Maybe Valko decides he wants to bid on this greasy noun. He's like, you know what? One's just not enough. I need one more. We don't know. Anything could happen live on 9 o'clock.
Hey, you need 2 to prop.
Exactly.
You need 2 to prop soon, unless someone does about it. Unless someone does something about it soon, you will need 3.
So yeah, we're not far off.
Hey, someone do something about that.
Hey, Devs.
There's been a couple of those proposals.
Devs, do something. Yeah,
do we think 3 is good? Do we want it to be 2? Do we want it to be 1? Do we want it to be 3?
3 feels oppressive to me. I don't know. I supported the prop that was going to lower it back to 1 because I thought that it wasn't really, we weren't being inundated by props. Of course, the second week of December would say otherwise, but for the most part, we haven't been inundated by a lot of props. So I thought it was okay to keep it at 1. Definitely 3 feels
if you have multiple nouns, can you delegate one to a certain party and another to another party?
If you put them in separate wallets only, so it does complicate things.
There will be front ends to handle that soon. I think Agora is working on that. But yeah, for now it's separate wallets.
Yeah. Goldie.
Some alpha from Goldie in the 9 o'clock chat. Liquid delegation on the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what Ben's referring to as well. Agora is doing liquid delegation. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, when I heard about the 2 noun prop, I was obviously sad because I had 1, but I realized pretty quickly if you engage in the community, it's not too hard to get a delegation, and with liquid delegation, that makes it even easier. People with a lot of nouns, want to bet on new community members that are showing good faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do think
we can put something up if you're passionate about it, for sure.
I guess my main thing is just it was baked into the protocol to change it or for it to always remain at 2%. And that was to basically avoid spam. Wow, we got another bid. I can't believe we got another bid came in.
Greasy void.
41.4. And it's a new wallet too. A new wallet. That new player has entered the chat.
And they got 5.2 ETH left to play.
A new character.
Yeah, Valko, we're gonna have you on the show more often. You're great for business here.
I feel like they read my thread.
They read your thread. They did.
Probably.
We got you that exposure. we're going to definitely dig into that thread. One of the interesting things about our show that makes it kind of funny is that we usually like to just kind of banter with the guest and then play FOMO. And typically we time it so that should only be 5 to 10 minutes. But when you get these giant bidding wars, it can really stretch things to the point where you're like, wow, are they ever going to get to the interview? But we also don't like the interview to be like truncated in the middle by FOMO. So it's a tricky one, but appreciate you
totally
chatting with us.
I tweeted at MK Sala, said he's bidding like a king, so hopefully that eggs him on.
Oh, nice. I didn't know him. Do you know him on Twitter? Or?
I just looked up mksala.eth and tweeted at that, so hopefully that's actually him.
Big brain moves. All right. Well, are you goading
I'm gonna outbid him.
Are you goading MK Sala into another bid?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we jump into a little bit of information about you, because I don't want to run out of time here, and it's okay if we have to sort of stop ourselves short to go play some FOMO and NOMO and come back. We've done it before. It's okay. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you're a punk owner, and you're involved with lots of things within the punk community. One thing that I saw when I was rooting around in your profile was Punk's Den. That was really cool. Can you talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so that's like a new kind of role for me. I'm close friends with Wojtek, the founder of Punks Club, which is a really awesome like front end he put together to help punks like meet up. So they have this map, and you can go to any city and see like what punks live in that city. It doesn't dox your exact location, but you can say, oh, I live in Austin, Texas, New York City, blah, 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 blah. So like I know there's about 450 punks or so out of the 4,000 or so holders. So about 10% participation rate in Punks Club, which is actually pretty good. And when you go to New York, there's about 60 or some odd punks on the map, maybe 70. So it's really easy to reach out to people. And I've personally met up with a bunch of punks because of it. It's really neat. And then the Punks Den is effectively like a council of people in the club that were elected to run a sort of Shark Tank. So you can pitch startup ideas, protocol ideas, things for the punk community, things not for the punk community, to this little board of sharks or council of people in the Punks Den, and then they will like endorse your decision or not. And currently they're working on getting funds so that we can actually not just like endorse projects and put our Punks Club seal of approval on it, but also give them some startup capital.
That's really cool. When I read that, the first thing I thought of is we need to talk to Valko about Prop House and see if there's a way that we could sort of combine forces and maybe that infrastructure could be useful to Punk's Den. I know you said they have their own front end and maybe they're using that for the
I mean it's sweet. Like you guys have all seen people trying to arrange meetups like on Twitter and on Discord and Telegrams, and like the map's good for just knowing who's around, but there's also an events board, and there's a projects board. And there's some other neat features, but I think that the two neat things really are the maps feature and the events feature. So people can go to a token gated RSVP and reply to event. The location can be there so that we don't have to tell the world where we're meeting up, and it doesn't get lost in the Discords and Telegrams. So it's a pretty helpful tool. We
need that for nouns.
They're doing it for Bored Apes now. Well, actually, funny you say that. The one of the guys on the team reached out to me because he thought I was like deeper in nouns, and he's definitely looking to push a proposal for nouns. So that might be coming up in discourse or something soon.
Very cool. Yeah, I think it'd be really neat to be able to know where folks are, so you can go and hang out wherever you are in the world. It'd be especially cool for things like NFT NYC and stuff to find
seconds.
People.
20
you can check in the city.
Did you just say NFT NYC?
I did. Or NFT Toronto. Yeah, either or.
Wherever
you may
be.
Holy shit, another bid?
Yeah, 42.2.
This is just insane, man.
New bid.
42. I was about to interrupt and say we got to cut this short, but no, we got another bid for 42.23 ETH. This is getting a little crazy.
Well, I mean, the US tax season is over, right? So everyone's like, well, I've done all my tax loss harvesting. It's time to start acquiring cheap nouns again.
Yeah, like I got rich on my bonk.
Yeah.
You got rich on your bonk. Yeah, this is a bonk noun. Is that what this is? Yeah.
Ooh. I think this bidder is in the audience. I think it's OX Hoon.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think it's a new wallet refunded by him.
LX Hoon. I'm not seeing him. If
you
you are
gotta
in the
dig
audience,
through what funded him.
Oh yeah, I can see. I'm gonna invite
He's
him
got
up
the
to
anime
speak.
PFP. It's an anime PFP, Toady.
Okay, I didn't say. Ben said he saw him, so yeah, invite him up if you want to come up.
Yeah, I just hit the invite button and see what happens.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, Valko, I was just thinking with the punch den thing. Are you familiar with Prop House and how that works here at Nouns?
I've read through the documentation and read over a few props. I haven't gotten involved with voting yet, which is part of my New Year's resolutions
Nice.
and part of why I'm here.
Awesome. Yeah, so it'd be worth looking to see if that's a piece of info that maybe the punch den could use to make their allocation of the funds that they decide to award a little easier. But anyway, we could talk about that offline, but it'd be cool to see.
Yeah.
So switching gears just a little bit. Obviously, you bought a noun recently, number 485, the saguaro cactus head. What sort of caused you to pull the trigger on that? Were you looking at nouns for a while? Were you thinking about them for a while? We'll get into the thread that you sort of made the other day about CC0. I want to definitely dig into that. But in general, why did you want to buy a noun?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of things, it started with like social proof. Like there are a lot of people in the space that I respect pretty deeply that were really early to the nouns community. I've known 4156 through the punks community since like 2017. So when he sort of like left the punks community and threw his hands in the air and was like, causing a fit over like commercial rights versus CCO, I was like, well, I really respect the student's opinions. So like I'm gonna open my mind to this concept of CCO. So I kind of watched him on his journey and some other people on their journey, but had never really jumped into nouns myself. And then one day I sort of just came to this realization, like, okay, there's probably like 5 projects I really care to collect. Like, what are they? And like, what are the investment theses behind them? And I realized one of my core like theses behind all of this is like, historical NFTs with a lot of cultural significance, and specifically ones that were sort of first to like innovate in their own little way. They like push the envelope on the NFT space, and above all that, when they do that in a way that is actually very Web3, those are the type of projects I want to invest in. So I really just, I saw that Yuga had, really popularized commercial rights, and that's what made them take off, along with their like really good business acumen and ability to like market things and monetize their IP. And like similarly, I saw Nouns as the group that, totally pioneered CCO. So I thought there's no better project, really, in my opinion, to invest in as a bet on CCO than Nouns. And that was really what sparked my curiosity and desire to buy, along with like I had a lot of interest in how this DAO actually worked, because I love the idea of DAOs, but I think a lot of them are like totally chaotic, like and don't really function. And
Or not
Nouns
real
has
DAOs at
always
all. Yeah.
been one of my go-to examples for a DAO that actually works, and that was just from an outsider's view. So I really wanted to get like an inside view on that. And I think the last thing that attracted me is like one of the biggest problems with NFT projects, in my opinion, especially the ones that want to deliver value on a recurring basis, but have no like decentralized community or autonomous way to like deliver value without having to collect money. Like if you want to deliver recurring value as a project, you need recurring revenues. So the recurring revenues problem is actually a problem that pretty much no NFT projects have solved. And when you take into consideration the fact that royalties are very much, in fact, voluntary, then the recurring revenue problem is like perhaps one of the biggest problems in the NFT space, in my opinion. And so I was asking myself, who has solved the recurring revenue problem in a really clever way? And I think it's absolutely Nouns. Like, I mean, we don't know where this will be in 20, 30, 40 years. But like what we've seen now for 567 days is that Nouns consistently sell for, anywhere between like 30 to like 80 ETH. And that's like incredible recurring revenue to add to the DAO. And by getting one vote out of, 567 of a balance sheet of 30,000 ETH. Like, I mean, that's incredible. So I'd say that bit of like the governance utility plus a project that not only innovated in CCO, but innovated in solving the recurring revenue problem really, really caught my interest.
I love that. People don't talk a lot about that, about the recurring revenue and how the daily auction cadence is just as much of an innovation, if not more, than the CC0 and all the other things that Nouns has pioneered. But you're fully right. Like when people kept making 10K PFP projects, there's nothing wrong with it, but really they just chose that number because Punks did it first, right? And then, you know, anyone who's been involved with several 10K PFP projects, a lot of them run into the problem that in order to continue making revenue, they have to keep making drops. They have to make companion collections and special drops, and they just don't have that ability to continue to build using the same IP. And so I think you've hit something on the head there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people wonder why all these projects are cash grabs and pump and dumps, but when you sell something once for a primary sale and then and that's all you have to coast off of, maybe some residual nominal royalties for the people that haven't squeezed that out, because it's basically a market inefficiency. Like, as much as I like to pay artists, it's a market inefficiency because it's voluntary.
Yeah.
Like, when you raise a lump sum of money, like, eventually you're going to dip, you know, like there's nothing really to keep you to stay, you know,
especially when on the other side, on the flip side, you've got communities that are getting enraged that things aren't getting done fast enough and when roadmap and all this stuff. So you're being squeezed between those 2 points where you've got all this money up front, no money coming in, nobody's happy, and it causes a lot of founders to just say, you know what, I'm out, and they
yeah, and unless you're really dedicated to your community and its mission, like the opportunity cost for you is to close up shop, rinse and repeat, and collect big again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's really cool. Going over to your CC0 thread, which I really enjoyed, and I've read a lot of CC0 threads because we're kind of CC0 maxis around these parts. But I really enjoyed all the things that you went through. One of my favorite parts of it was when you talked about how sort of the interaction of blockchain and licensing, and about how having licensing for something like Yuga kind of makes it doubly centralized. We actually talked about this on another space earlier today. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like, you know, commercial rights are centralized, you know, like I'd say first and foremost, like the rights are set by the, you know, a corporation, and oftentimes there's like vague terms in the contract where it's like, you know, we grant you these rights so long as you remain compliant with us, and sometimes the terms are even subject to change, so it's not even just set limitations and restrictions up front, but it's limitations and restrictions that can be changed at any point by the creator. So that's like obviously a huge problem in terms of like knowing what you signed up for. And we saw that happen with Moonbirds, right? They issued under commercial license and then they decided to swap to CCO. I mean, that's cool because we like CCO, but you know, the point being, like, they changed things without really consulting or getting buy-in from their community because they had the power to do so. And so that's a massive risk of centralization. But I think the second one is even worse, in my opinion. And that's like, you can't enforce a intangible legal construct like IP without relying on the legal system, which is a third party, and therefore like it's just not Web3 at all, right? The moment you have to rely on a third party or anything other than the blockchain, all of the trustlessness goes entirely out the window. And sure, you could argue that this third party, the courts, aren't actually centralized, right? Like, it is a pretty distributed system in its own regard. But it's still powered by humans and human arbitration. And like, we all know how slow the governments are. And on top of that, you have no guarantee of winning your case. Anybody can make a case at any time. If they have more resources and time than you, they very well might beat you, even though you have the, you know, probably the better side of the case to be on.
Or
so there's no guarantee of winning. And you gotta fork up the cost to do it. I mean, it's tough. So it's really doubly centralized by the creator standpoint as well as the courts. And you know, at the end of the day, like, and I close my thread with this, like, to me, blockchain was about restoring power to the people and taking it away from the governments, the banks, and the big tech companies. when you have commercial rights and legal constructs, like the people who set the rights, the big corporations or big tech companies, remain in control, and the people who enforce the rights, the governments, also remain in control, and they maintain the power. And so that doesn't feel very Web3 to me personally. And that's not to say commercial rights are bad and that centralization is always bad. It totally has its perks. And I said this a few times throughout the thread and in my responses. Like, I got my Meebits posters for free from Yuga Labs. That was awesome. When I was in Miami for Art Basel, I got a VIP ticket to a party that Yuga was hosting because I held a punk. That's awesome. But, it's a double-edged sword. Centralization has its perks, but it also has its risks. And I think what really inspired me to write the thread was I felt commercial rights are often touted as like the biggest, greatest use case in Web3 and NFTs, and that it's like the future of this entire space. And I felt like it was falsely used as a hook to like bait new users or justify high JPEG prices. I sort of felt the same way about royalties, right? Like people say, oh, royalties are guaranteed. Finally, we can guarantee creators their royalties. But like, actually, that's not true. And I felt like there was a similar bait and switch with commercial rights. And so that's what really like prompted this thread, was to kind of remind people like, hey, this isn't very Web3, and this is what we're here for. Don't forget.
Yeah. Well, one of the tweets in that thread, you asked, are IP rights even compatible with the blockchain? Which I thought was a really good question, maybe provocative, but a good one. And do you want to expand on that a little bit? What do you mean by that? How are IP rights potentially incompatible with blockchain altogether?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of gets back to the previous statement I made of, at the end of the day, like IP is intangible, but you could argue so are JPEGs. But those of us who live and breathe blockchain know that there is a bit of tangibility to it when it's in your wallet and self-custodied. But IP is an intangible legal construct. It cannot exist without the courts, period. And the courts don't necessarily care about what the blockchain says. And so therefore there's this like deep incompatibility that exists. Like a court can easily prove, okay, this guy cryptographically holds this NFT. And this terms of service says that the holder of the NFT holds the commercial rights. Like that much is clear. Like the blockchain helps with proving who holds the commercial rights. But whether another person is infringing on those commercial rights, how they're infringing on those commercial rights, like, what the damages and like need to look like, all of that becomes so arbitrary. It's just not trustless at all. Like, I don't know how you can, in a trustless way, determine like yes or no, this is infringement, and then like how much and what are the damages. Like, I don't know how that's possible. I mean, it might be. Humans have accomplished amazing things, but like right now and for the foreseeable future, I do not see how the two are compatible. And I feel the same way about the whole digital meets physical, discussion, right? People say, oh, we're going to have NFTs for the deed to your home. And I'm kind of like, how different is that really from the county clerk office that has a piece of paper with a stamp and some guy wearing a special hat stamps it and says, okay, here you go. Like when you sell your home, how do we know that NFT is going to move along with it, or vice versa? You sell the NFT, how do we know that the house is going to move along with it? What if you lose the keys to your wallet and the NFT is destroyed? Who's going to issue you a new NFT because you lost the deed to your home? Like, it immediately introduces a point of centralization, which breaks for me the first pillar of Web3, which is decentralization. But it also introduces gatekeepers, and it also introduces trust. So you don't have permissionless systems and you don't have trustless systems either.
So we all have to live on the blockchain in the metaverse, I think, is the only solution. We can't have any physical. No, I'm just kidding.
I kind of disagree with it, like just a little bit, because like there's so many issues with paper deeds and stuff already that people lose them, they get destroyed, misplacement, like all that kind of stuff happens day to day, right? Obviously they can reprint it, but like what would stop you from the same sort of functionality, right? But instead of the clerk's office holding papers and everything, and like losing the history of a house because they just don't know, because all the previous deeds were lost, right? So they don't know the history. At least with the NFT, you have the entire history of it. If you lose the keys to a wallet that contains that, it's basically a smart contract error where you build in a smart contract function that retrieves it, right? It's like, sure, you own it, but the smart contract someone can interact with that smart contract to retrieve the NFT, right? You can
right, but I mean, I agree. I think there are some upgrades that are made possible, but when you retrieve the keys, I think it creates a point of centralization. Like, who has the power to do that, and are they going to respect it, or does it become a single point of failure?
The dream of decentralization is not as it seems. There needs to be, because of human error, there needs to be basically like the fuck up system. Like, someone's going to fuck something up, and there needs to be an undo button, right? Obviously, with the blockchain, stuff is permanent when it goes in, right? It's there. But there needs to be, like, built into these smart contracts where there's trusted parties and DAOs and treasuries and, voting options where people can say, hey, this was lost. We can see that the wallet is locked forever, or whatever happened to it. If you can prove that it's gone, basically, there is a retrieval process that you go for to retrieve the NFT and get it sent to a new wallet, right? So, like, there's a lot of things that you can build into it, but like the regular form of doing this, the same goes for like legal paperwork, wills, all sorts of things. You can
it's just a digital court system
at that point.
But the thing is not the same people are in control.
Yeah, the people who can buy control are in control.
Prof. Werder, do you have something to say? Prof. Werder is a lawyer. She may have something to weigh in on this.
Yeah, no, I love this conversation. It's phenomenal. And I agree with both of you. So I think the practicality is we won't see it in larger countries for any time soon, especially a country like the US, where it really comes down to local and state to deal with this. So I think you might see it in maybe a small town experimenting where they put everything on blockchain, but you won't see it at a wide scope just because of the complication of having to change all the laws to go along with that. It's just going to take a really long time. But on the flip side of that, the technology is, I think, great if somebody can incorporate it. Maybe, if you're talking about, I don't know, if you were starting a country today and starting from scratch, then that would be a fabulous way to do it. So when you're talking
that is on
about
my bucket. That is on my bucket list for 2023. So yeah, thank you.
Same, exactly. So there you go. So, if you're talking about digital countries and digital worlds, then obviously, but I think it's just going to be one of these things that it's like this solution would be great in many ways, but practically speaking, we may never see it, or at least it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Nikki, for whatever it's worth, I agree with everything you said too. Like, I think it's unrealistic to like fully decentralize all the things into a completely trustless way. And there's going to have to be these like middle grounds and Web 2.5s and Web 2.8s and Web 2.99s. Like, it's going to exist. It's inevitable. But I always like to remember like the dawn of Bitcoin back in like 2011 when me and my friends were buying fake IDs and like psychedelics on the internet. And I just remember like kind of the core doctrine of like, decentralized, permissionless, trustlessness. And I try to embrace that when I can and push it when it's reasonable. But like, yeah, you surely like need reversibility in databases for so many things. But it does introduce risk and human arbitration, and humans are emotional creatures that are incredibly flawed at times.
All right, I have to butt in here for a quick second to take us back to this auction, which has still been running hot all through this discussion.
I can't believe this.
Sitting with a bid of 48.88, which is a lucky number in Chinese culture. So I wonder if we might have a Chinese bidder here with 48.88. And looks like it's going to take it. Maybe I shouldn't speak too soon, but 30 seconds left on the clock.
There's a bid earlier that ended at 10 seconds. So
yeah, we'll see. It depends on. It's got to be 13 seconds or less, right? Once we're past 13 seconds, then we're in no man's land. I think we won't get a pending bid. So that's a.
So do we need the new 13-second clip, like a little music clip, a 13-second
maybe
countdown?
that should be it, or just a 10-second. Maybe the 30 seconds too long.
Well,
So anyway,
the
3,
Twitter's
2, 1.
literally on
That's it.
stage.
What an option! All right, let's go.
We are playing the feud. We're going to fomonouns.wtf. Vote up if you like it. Vote down if you don't like it.
And you know the rules.
Don't
if
abstain.
You're on the stage,
Let's
if you're
try
on the
and get a
stage
watch.
and you're playing, mic's on. We got to have maximum chaos.
And we're aiming for a watch
Yeah,
today
absolutely.
in honor of some stuff that Prof and Symbio were working on.
Okay, we'll keep an ay on a watch for the time.
If it comes off and it's pretty, if you wouldn't mind.
We're looking for a watch for the time being.
Ooh, Illuminati book. I just finished that book. Actually, it was really insightful.
Nobody ever wants the book.
Wow, I don't understand why nobody likes the book.
Nuts.
So pretty.
Ooh,
That's
orange
fun.
crush.
That's a good.
That's a
looking
leaky soda can. All over the desk.
I so want that.
Oh,
little
greasy!
ball
The greasy popsicle.
Man, greasy is such an OP trait. You're right, Robot Fishko. It's so good. Like
it's so broken.
You know what that is? That's
love it.
That's a sucker punch, is what that was. A greasy sucker punch.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, Valko, do you have any favorite heads that you particularly like?
I'm really into that lint ball, honestly.
Ooh, look at that trash can.
Ooh, that's a nice trash can.
Nounish trash, same.
Should we upgrade FOMO?
Ooh.
So should we upgrade FOMO that it's like it works kind of like Nomo, like the more clicks, the more weighted it goes?
Yo,
I think that's how it worked for a while.
The Nomo team.
when we got botted.
Little bit of alpha here, Josh. The Nomo team is talking about adding an instance of FOMO potentially into Nomo in the future, and that's definitely a feature we're thinking about adding. Is not as much as Nomo. We don't want it to be like Sybil.
That's a future I could believe in.
All right.
Sunshine on kindness.
And I'm
so do we just need like net thumbs up for one to pass, or
exactly?
You need at least 50%.
We're looking for consensus.
Yeah, I mean, right now everybody's voting everything down. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully, if we see a real nice one, people will vote it up.
Watch.
That boot was kind of nice, though.
That's kind of pretty.
Ooh, that's a hip rose.
Nice cherry.
Hip rose cherry.
Richard got the best noun of all of us with the boot number 3. Wow.
Oh, you're such a bootlicker.
30 ETH for noun number 3. That's insane.
Oh, that's good.
You can clutch.
Ooh, this is a safe choice, but I don't like it.
Oh no.
Choice? What does that even mean?
LMAO.
It's a safe head.
It's a wall safe.
Oh my God, dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
He is recently a dad, so at least he has a better excuse than he did earlier in the year.
No, before that I was practicing.
Getting ready.
That was chicken chess.
Another boot.
My favorite games.
Boot.
That boot I don't like it quite as much.
I like that boot.
That's the only novels with the wide.
Yep.
Yeah,
the hip rose.
That was a hip rose, yeah.
Kruger cries.
Kruger cries. I like that.
That sounds like a emo band, honestly.
Lucky Kiss.
Come on, watch.
Anybody want a Lucky Kiss?
Nah.
This would have been fine on like New Year's, but
I'm good.
How long can we do this? Like theoretically?
Yes.
Until somebody settles the auction, basically.
Anyone can settle it at any time.
We have played, but don't say that out loud. They might get ideas.
Oh
limp
shit!
ball. He did ask for a limp ball, but nobody was paying attention because we were answering a question.
I know.
Don't distract us.
We got it fast enough. It was pretty good. The other one before.
Why do we want? I thought we wanted to watch.
We do.
I'm sorry. I voted this one up.
We have to go up for this one. You fill the void in with a
The
mirror.
greasy.
Let's go.
The grease is so
Yeah. Gracie void to Gracie mirror.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Let's go.
That'll settle.
That'll
settle.
This is it.
Let's go Vesselverse. This is a nice one too.
Party
Did
time
we not get
basketball.
it?
What?
We didn't
How
get
did we
it.
not get that?
I have no idea.
I don't want a shrimp pie. I'm upset. Devs, do something.
For context,
I'm
Valko,
speechless.
there's someone who just had a basketball-related prop that included compensation of a noun, and that would have been a real nice one for the nouns acquisition committee
That
to
would
grab.
have been perfect.
But
Yeah.
Why didn't it not work?
I don't know why it didn't work.
I don't know. Hopefully we're not.
I guess we
wrong.
just weren't
Weird.
fast enough. But
Yeah, I guess
Like
we weren't fast enough.
it has to reach consensus fast enough for the contract to then go settle it within that block. So you've got about 4 seconds max at the start.
diamond record.
By the way, that was MetaMonk, just
Dang.
their information rat.
Yeah, it was a good
yeah.
And soon to they're both.
I'm not a big fan of this one. God,
Not a fan.
No, not a fan.
not a
Feels
fan.
heavy.
Has
am,
this committee gotten pickier on the FOMOs over time?
Oh,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, the blend.
Because we've minted so many really nice nouns that when we see a noun that isn't a hell yes, we vote no.
No.
Maybe we should get Nounsel to come in here and
we started to theme them a lot. Like we're like always like we want a
Train them.
specific noun.
So
not just
was
a
the
nice
cactus noun I got selected by this process?
Yes.
Oh, you bet.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I thank you guys dearly for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, pleasure.
I'll find the
It's always
space
a
and
lot of
send it
fun.
to you. I'm sure we've got it up on YouTube or something if we don't have it on Twitter.
I think I was
Hello,
like
my name
lurking
is-
for like.
Hello, my
12
name is
days.
Party 142.
Hello, my name is Disco. Disco 142.
Disco 42.
Valko, one time at Noun 420, we played for 35 minutes trying to mint a weed head. and failed.
And then we didn't.
Yeah, we got rugged.
And the next noun was 422, and we got a weed head almost immediately, and it was ugly, and we minted it anyway.
Yeah.
This guy looks fast.
I
Yeah,
just
he
speak
is.
to that today.
I usually don't go for the sporty werewolf.
Ooh, the guy
Ooh.
with the carrot.
This is 9999 after he dies. That's too dark.
Stop it.
Wait, did it happen?
Hey, as Seth
No,
Green
no.
said,
It's dead
Didn't
carrot.
get it quick enough.
as Seth Green said, you don't need to be afraid of
Dead
skeletons. We have them inside all of
Nikki
us.
G Records.
As Seth Green said, this is my project, nouns.
I remember him saying that. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
I think he was just like, okay.
Yo,
Yeah,
that,
you could see it on his face where he was like, should I say, you know what, screw it.
yo, this
Yeah,
ducky,
like,
Oh
that
my
ducky
God.
is going to be so good on Nomo if it gets the yellow
Oh,
background.
I accidentally voted this one up. Okay, good.
Oh.
Have you ever
Yeah,
thrown
that
a
duck is
holy-
going to be an awesome no.
Have you ever thrown a holy grenade into a snowman? It's awesome.
Oh my god, it looks like it's smiling.
I called that the insignia and accessory a holy hand grenade like 6 months ago, and we have never
Yep,
dropped
I
it.
remember.
That's
That was
just
like
what
the
it is.
fourth space we had.
X copy
It
wolf.
was. We did the poem, the haiku
Yeah.
about the holy hand.
I wasn't even on this account for that space. I think I was on Block's account.
Oh,
Did
two
we just
in a
get
row.
2 in a
What's
row?
with all the wolves? What the hell?
Why are there so many werewolves?
Money.
I forgot
Werewolf
wolves
Wall
travel in
Street.
packs. That's why we're getting all these
That's
wolves.
why.
Not a full
Makes
moon,
sense.
is it?
Back.
What is the noun of assembly for
Oh
a
my
werewolf?
god, bagpipes.
No place.
And a woo! I don't know. It's definitely not that.
It's definitely not that.
Probably just like a
What?
pack of werewolves, right?
I feel
So,
like
yeah.
is Dev Carrot in the audience because I feel like we're gonna get noun or shamed with this.
Maybe we
FOMO.
should get this for Bankless. Not
Law, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I am the law.
Also, another
I
time,
am the
Valko.
law.
Another time we
Yeah.
minted a bank for Bankless, and then they said that they wanted, and then they didn't want it anymore.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
As you can tell,
Remember that time when Bankless
watch out
said they
what
were
you
going
say
to
around
mint a noun
Toby.
and then they
He'll-
didn't?
But we still
Cody will
love
remember what you say. Careful.
We still love Bankless. And 6529 bought that bank, I think, so it was okay.
Okay,
All,
He did.
all
It was
was
a good
well.
one.
All was well.
Yeah.
that's right. Yep, I forgot about
Hey,
that.
we had a fry piggy bank yesterday. I remember.
Ooh.
This is
Ooh.
4156 in the 70s. It was pretty.
70s horse. Yeah.
Did you know him back
His-
then?
His,
Did you know him
his
back
mom
then,
used to
Valko?
dress him like that.
Not in the
Dev
70s.
Carrot.
Give me something.
Do we even have a car now yet?
I don't know.
Speaking of
I don't-
Dev
I
Carrot.
don't think so.
It's been a
Speaking
long
of Dev
time
Carrot,
since I looked at
This
the
is his Christmas
list.
sweater. Aw, Dev Carrot.
Aw, Dev Carrot Christmas.
Aw. Why didn't we
Yeah.
think about that sooner?
Oh, that's pretty cool, Bear.
I don't
That's what we
like the
did.
bear head. I want to,
You don't
but
like
I
the bear
don't.
Well,
head?
that's what we did with tonight's auction, though. We threw a grenade on the bear.
It's more like a gopher.
Pretty much.
Ooh, the rubber ducky.
As we figured out
Great
last
ideas.
night, sometimes the bear looks like a gopher, sometimes the kangaroo looks like a burro.
Yeah.
I like this one. Look at the DNA with the
DNA.
integrated noggles.
With the blended, yeah.
I also have noggles integrated.
I voted it down, but I like.
You guys.
All right, we got.
All right, come on, give us something good.
Oh, hell
Business
yeah.
I know,
Sasquatch?
just give us something good at this point. Come on.
Business Sasquatch is pretty good. No?
Nah.
People are
We've
really
given up.
committed.
We just won something nice now. We've given up on all
Yeah.
games.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shrimp
FOMO
bow.
Let's go.
dumpling. Yeah, let's
Shrimp
eat.
bow?
Oh, that
Shrimp
sounds
bow. How do you
tasty.
How are you mad
He's
at that?
clean.
I'm mad at it. I didn't like that one.
I wasn't quite ready to say yes, I guess.
I'm
A
thinking
wine.
wine. That's me pretty much every night.
That's me right now.
By the way,
That explains a lot.
I have an idea.
quickness. In the Jungle NounsDAO, I posted a proposal idea, and I would like some possible feedback if anybody wants to give me some.
Yeah, we can chat about that after FOMO for sure, Nikki. Let's get some NFT Toronto. This one's pretty good. That washing machine is good. LOL.
I like the
Star.
star.
I want it. I'm buying
Star
it.
of
You're
the
a
show.
star.
Hell yeah, we
Oh my
got
God,
it.
the one of one shark.
That's a good one.
Right
Okay.
now.
Oh, I really
And now
want
it's
to buy
Nomo
that.
time.
No,
All right,
my
so
God.
that was FOMO.
So
That was
now you go to
FOMO.
Nomo nouns, NOMO.WTF. Oh my God, there's so many.
As you
Let's get
guys
the
saw.
basketball or the
Basketball.
Gotta be the
as
basketball.
I really thought we
you
had the
guys
best
saw, there
one.
were a
I'm
lot
not
of
going
FOMO.
basketball.
There were a lot of
Oh my
FOMO nouns
God,
that
I
we
want that
couldn't quite
sound
save.
so bad.
Hey guys, can I just give a quick explanation of Nomo here? So Nomo.WTF, there were a bunch of nouns that we couldn't save on FOMO, and they will be Nomo unless we save them. So if you go to Nomo.WTF, there's 21 seconds to pick your character. Actually, you do it better than me, RFG.
So you have only, at the moment, just over 10 seconds to choose your character.
There it
And
is.
yeah, I should just put that on button for you.
your character.
And then,
Put it in the comments.
so spam click the noun that you like the most. I'm going for the
All right,
greasy
we're going,
mirror.
we're
I don't know
live,
about
we're live,
y'all.
we're
Yeah,
live.
the two Gracie,
We're going for
ones, Gracie
so
Mirror
many
and Gracie
choices.
Glove.
Oh my God. I think I'm going basketball. Such a nice basketball.
It's so pretty.
I
like
didn't
that
play
one
any
a lot.
Apex today, so my hands don't hurt yet.
Oh boy.
The other night I was having a
This is
hard
good
time
ones
because I
here.
had
We got
spent 2 hours in
Flexing over
CSGO.
there.
We got
Y'all gotta
information
come get
now.
this Slayer Wolf with me.
All right.
Somebody muted everybody. So if you were muted, make sure to unmute if you're on the stage.
Wait, we lost the little mouse.
All right, we're down
I want the other Gracie one. I was trying to save the two
Basketball,
Gracie ones.
basketball.
Carrot skull. Carrot skull.
Postmortem 9999.
No.
I'm still going for this greasy mirror. I like it too much.
Serious.
Ah.
This is pretty close, actually,
There you go.
between these
Getting
four.
very
Ow,
serious.
my hand.
Come on,
We got
these are
greasy
good.
basketball
Whoa.
manager, maybe not for long. We got information.
Oh.
Okay.
Gracie Mirror versus
Greasy
the
mirror.
Oh,
An
that's
information rat.
Damn, greasy
Info
meat. Here we
rat.
go.
3 seconds, 2 seconds,
that
go!
greasy
This is a
mirror.
tough one. I'm gonna go rat.
The greasy mirror is
You
really
dirty
good.
rat.
Greasy mirror
You
is too
dirty
good.
rat.
I can't. This is what I've been clicking on
Really
from the
good.
start.
That's
Was
an
the greasy
Incredibles.
mirror?
That's an Incredibles rat.
We would have
Yeah,
got
It's the
a
rat
It's
from
gonna be
Incredibles.
close.
No.
Hey,
Okay.
we got it.
Woo!
Al, I swear to God.
Holy
That
It's
shit.
like
was
someone's testing
close.
paint on a wall.
The
All right.
greasy,
Well, you guys got
greasy
me.
mirror. Wow.
I'll make
Guys, I
it.
can't believe I didn't know about this. What the fuck?
Right? Welcome. Welcome
Oh,
to our world of chaos.
Yeah, we made this just for fun to have here. Like, we just love Noun O'Clock so much. We're just like building stuff around having this moment together where we get to chat with other nouners, talk about nouns, talk about the stuff going on around nouns, play FOMO nouns, play
Civil
Nomo
attack
nouns.
nomos.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Make my
Ben-
hand cramp on them.
Ben, can you give a quick explanation for anyone who's new here, how and why they can mint a Nomo if they want now?
Yeah, exactly. So apart from the fun aspect of this, like, it was psychologically killing me to watch all those nouns go by. So we had to create this where we can try and save some. And by saving this noun today, uh, basically a timed edition for 24 hours where it increases in price every 15 minutes. So it incentivizes you to be here with us and get it for the cheapest price. And it allows the community to collect their daily noun as an addition at the end of this game series kind of thing. And all proceeds go back to the show to continue supporting us at the show and keep this going. So just like a fun flywheel, basically.
Awesome. I minted mine,
Robot
and
Fish Girl, I think you should record that like a PBS kind of play.
Yeah.
Like when you save this Nomo.
I already have one.
Yeah.
We already did the In the Arms of an Angel one.
There's another Sarah McLachlan song I can use as a background for Nomo.
Something like that for Nomo. Yeah.
When I get my sound dampening equipment, I'll record another one.
Give me that vibe. I was starting to get that vibe when Ben was talking, and I'm like, oh my god, that'd be perfect.
Just the price
in
of
the
a
arms
of
exactly.
I bid on the noun. I wanted it really badly.
Oh, nice.
God,
we got
dang.
live bidding.
Big ballers out here. We're all here.
Nikki G in the house.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, I want it. I want it so bad.
It's a good one.
Good luck.
Speaking of bidding on nouns,
wow.
It's come to my attention that potentially, and I can't confirm this, but potentially the individual who won today's noun might be on stage. 0x Hoon, did you just win this noun?
Yes, indeed, I did.
Congratulations.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Congrats.
Wow, congratulations.
Let's go.
Thanks for joining.
Did you play Nomo with us?
I'm actually really new to all of this, so I didn't know how the Nomo worked.
Right, yeah. I mean, thanks for joining us, and it's like a pleasure to have you on stage here while bidding as well. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, usually we try to get new nouners on the show like within a couple of days of when they buy, but you just skipped to the front of the line. It's awesome. You just came right to it. Yeah. Love it.
Expert mode.
Expert mode. Robot Fish Girl told him to get Robot Fish Girl, did you tell him to get good?
I had nothing to do with this.
That serious question though, does it make sense to you now what we've just done, or like do you need further explanation on any of it? Like, got any questions on what we've just done here?
Honestly, I've just been just too excited after winning this noun, so I haven't really tuned in too much. But I mostly tune in for the FOMO nouns part. Yeah, I think that's awesome. That's a pretty cool mechanic with this NFT project.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah. By the way, can we also thank you for not manually settling and rugging our FOMO session? Because a lot of people do that when they buy new nouns. They're like, you know what? I'm going to want that in my wallet. And you can't blame them, really. And so sometimes they'll just manually settle after 5 minutes. So really appreciate you letting us play FOMO for like 30 minutes or whatever it was.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
No, well, I'm glad you didn't.
Awesome.
Score one.
Those are the only FOMO rugs that we forgive here on the Noun Square. When the person who bought the noun settles, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Even though we don't like to get rugged around here. But 0x, what did you love about this noun? It really got heated with that auction all the way up to 48.88. What did you love about the noun?
As soon as I saw the void head, I just knew like it was for me. It resonated with me. I was just looking to buy it now, and after I saw the Rose Bowl float that they had, I thought that was like one of the most impressive things I've seen an NFT project do or DAO do. So I knew I had to get one of these. But yeah, the greasy void just it's just me. So I knew how to get it.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been the greasy void at some point in our life. Usually it's after a few few hours of playing games, with the Doritos. We've all been a greasy void, so we get that. I love what you said though about the Rose Parade, because we actually had one of the founders of Nouns was on our AMA that we held earlier, which was specifically aimed at people who heard about Nouns recently from the Rose Parade or from the This Is Nouns Mint. And Dev Carrot came on, and he was talking a little bit about the Rose Parade. And he said one of the things that was almost surreal for the founders of Nouns being there watching it is that they had absolutely nothing to do with that entire initiative to have the parade float made. It was like a separate studio, Stupid Buddy, the makers of Robot Fish Girl, who came to Nouns, wanted to do this as part of a documentary, and then just another group of volunteers.
Robot Chicken. You said Robot Fish Girl.
Yeah, they made the makers of Robot Fish Girl.
I was like, what did I
do? Sorry, Robot Chicken, yeah. The makers of Robot Fish Girl. We finally figured out who made this weird robot that keeps joining us every night. But no, it's still crazy, though, that a bunch of volunteers from all over, who had nothing to do with the founding group of Nouns did this. And like you said, it came out incredible. We were all just blown away when we watched the parade. So cool to hear that feedback translating into someone being like, yo, I need to be a part of this.
Yeah, and that, and also ROI. All the charitable the charitable events that the NounsDAO community has done. It's really great. It's super wholesome. Just supports the people, humanity, communities, which is what we need. So yeah, just happy to just support that mission, add to the treasury, keep this going. I hope the bids keep on going up, at least, and I want to see Nouns be bid at least 50 ETH. I think.
Yeah. I love that. Be the change you want to see in the world.
NFT communities can come together, for this awesome mission. And thanks for the space.
Yeah, well, if you're looking for another space after this one, we're here every single day. So yeah, if you're thinking tomorrow, I'd like to get on a Twitter Spaces with Nouns, well, you're in luck. We do this every single day. So I'm glad that you could join us.
Plus 40 soapboxes.
Yeah, plus 40 soapboxes. So pretty much if you follow the clock here, and we'll do a tweet every single day with all of the different spaces that are happening on 9 o'clock. Probably a good time to actually go over what we have lined up on the spaces schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, of course. We've got at 12 o'clock International Nouns Builders Around the Globe. It's a soapbox run by Zargs, one of the members of our TNS team, and it's all about all the different groups around the world that are doing Nounish things. So groups like NounsDAO Africa and NounsDAO Japan and NounsDAO Brazil and Amigos and all these awesome groups that are doing really cool proliferation and really cool Nounish stuff all over the world. They come together to talk about that stuff on the International Nouns Soapbox every Friday at 12 p.m. noon. After that, we've got at 2 p.m. EST Prop Culture with the Little Reps. If you're not familiar with Little Nouns, it's a more accessible sort of version of Nouns that has little very cute NFTs that are based on Nouns, and they are a fork of Nouns with a higher cadence. So there's a lot more of them, and it's kind of like a dry run of everything that Nouns does, but every 15 minutes they mint a noun. Really cool community, and they own actually 15 nouns in their own right. So they own 15 big nouns, and they have quite a say in a lot of these proposals. So Little Reps is a space that they host here every week, every Friday at 2 p.m., where they talk about different on-chain nouns proposals and prop house proposals and how little nouns are going to vote in the big nouns prop house and on-chain. So that's a really cool one to tune in to as well at 2 p.m. And then finally at 4 p.m.
Al is sporting that little noun right there. Al 49 there. It's sporting
Al
that little noun.
On the stage. He's a little microwave. You can't really fit like a full meal.
Thank you, everybody.
You can't really fit a full meal in there, but it's good for like nuking your coffee in the morning. So
it's like an easy bake oven.
That's right. We like to have them around just for if you need to give something just a little bit of a bump, a little nuke. Then Al can help you with that. At 4 p.m. tomorrow. At 4 p.m. tomorrow, me and Prof. Werder here, we host a soapbox called Builder Box, and it is all about Nouns Builder. If you don't know about Nouns Builder, come out and listen to a space. We have people who are spinning up DAOs live on the air almost every week, talking about the DAOs that they're planning to build, and using the Zora Nouns Builder tool to do that. So that is happening as well tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then, of course, we have 9 o'clock live every single night. So we will have our 9 o'clock live tomorrow. It's going to be probably after this FOMO session. We'll likely be close to 1 a.m. on Saturday morning before we're back here. But I know you guys will all be here because you're all DGens, and we've already been all the way through the EST night once. And I'm sure you'll join us again as we go deep dives through the night.
We'll see.
So, Nikki, you said that you wanted to talk briefly about something that you were pitching in one of the Nounish Discords. I think it was about NFT Toronto, which I'm super excited about because I am in Ontario myself. And so that's finally an event that's super close to me. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I posted in the Jungle DAO Discord, or the Jungle NounsDAO Discord, in the proposal ideas because I kind of wanted to source some feedback from basically everybody. I know I'm currently trying to talk to a lot of the sub-DAO leads and people on the teams of the sub-DAOs because I want to get as many as I possibly can involved in the event. The vision is basically to get the nouns as involved as possible into the NFT Toronto event because one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most well-built NFT and Web3 DAOs and projects is the Nouns. And, being a part of it for such a little amount of time in comparison to others. But I've been able to explore it so well and been very welcomed into the community. So I definitely see the power of the Nouns and, definitely want to help bring proliferation and a lot of return to the Nouns as many ways as I can. Obviously I got my proposal 196 that I'm still working on, and we're trying to make it better, working with some of the other Nouns members to offer up some better ideas of how we can start smaller with that one. I've been, applying to the Explorer grants and a couple other prop house props as well, just wanting to be involved as much as possible. And I think that because I'm running NFT Toronto, I have the ability to basically push the nouns into everybody in the NFT industry just by, putting them on the front and center stage of a large NFT conference, or what I hope to be a large NFT conference, this year and then next year as well. And, continuing to grow and continuing to push the nouns at these things. So some of the ideas I had that I did post in that Jungle proposal ideas, these are just like preliminary ideas that I kind of threw out there. And, some of them we really want to do, but obviously it's all part of the proposal I'll be putting on chain. It will be this month. I will be putting something on chain this month. So I really look forward to hearing a lot of feedback on it. But let me just riff off these ideas really quick, and then we'll open it up for some feedback. And if you guys are listening and want feedback, either send me a DM here or send me a DM on Discord or join the stage, however we can do it. But list of ideas. So, and these will be all inclusive. So it's not just like one or the other. Everything will be included in the prop. Nouns Prop House Live. So this is basically a live VC style pitch deck or a pitch stage at the event. So it'll be a live pitch stage where members of the Nouns will take proposals from people live. And basically, if we decide to work with that said individual or group, we will help them make an on-chain proposal in the Nouns in whichever category it fits best. Number two, main stage is emceed by, these are the two that I nominated by myself, but main stage emceed by Tody Hawk and Obtoshi, which would mean that they're introducing all of the speakers and they get to take Noggles pictures with the speakers on the main stage. So I think that'll be very cool to get all the speakers and have, really cool people wearing Noggles and getting a picture with them. Free booths. So we have 10 by 10 booths available at the conference. There's, I think, up to 70. And I'm going to give a free booth to every one of the sub-DAOs that want to attend and have somebody there to man their booth. The Noun Square live podcast at the content workshop. So I have a content workshop that will also be there where people like Farouk from Rug Radio and Ryan Carson's Daily Dose and NGMI Podcasts, all sorts of people are going to do live podcasts or Twitter spaces there. So I would love to have the Noun Square host one as well. maybe interview somebody from the conference. Noggles for as many people as possible. So I've been talking to Big Shot himself, and we're going to try and get as many noggles as we possibly can made for the conference so that everybody can walk away with a pair.
Awesome.
Speakers, obviously, to wear the noggles. And then, branding. So a lot of the branding at the conference, a lot of branding at the Nouns kickoff party. So we have secured Cabana Pool Bar. If you don't know what that is, it's a very, very big and very, very nice pool bar downtown Toronto, overlooking the skyline. So we'll have a lot of Nouns branding and activation there. And then Nouns branding at the VIP Mixer event at El Macombo, which is made specifically for speaker sponsors and VIPs to attend. We can do Nouns-styled drinks. We can do Nouns-styled coasters and branding all over the place. It's a really cool event. And then that's all I wrote down there, but so many different ideas that I have. I really want to get...
You have to make a special Nounish cocktail that has like the grease trait coming down the side of the glass.
I love that. But like
I don't know if anyone will want to drink it, but
those super big cutouts, like those super big like metal signs. I want to have one of those outside of the conference. Nouns. But anyways, that's
the NounsDAO Amigos. The NounsDAO Amigos did some cutouts, some cartoon cutouts of nouns at the Columbia event at ETH Bogota, sorry, and it was really cool. People loved it. They went and they took lots of photos with it, etc. So I think it's a good idea.
Melbourne too, NFT Fest Melbourne. They had those like cutouts on the stage and at a little booth area.
The first person to do like the 20-foot inflatable nouns is gonna go crazy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cut out the 20-foot what?
They're like the 20-foot inflatable. Like let's just be honest. Like my neighbor has like a 30-foot like snowman in their yard, so we know it's possible. And like we can do 20-foot inflatable nouns that like pack up in a small suitcase.
Joshua feels like if my annoying ass neighbor can get this snowman up in his yard.
If we can find somewhere to source that, I'll put it at the Cabana pool party, because obviously like a big inflatable blow up thing.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever figures out like they're possible, a bunch of people want them. Whoever figures it out first, like the first manufacturer who steps up and is like, "Oh, I got you. It's going to be this much and it's going to be easy." They're going to get funded like crazy.
I actually had a manufacturer for something similar to this. It's not quite the same as the blow up things, but it's was made out of the stuff like a jumping castle is made out of, and so you could actually jump on it. And because when I was sourcing it, my idea was to make it look like a car had crashed into like a big lake. So the front end of the car is missing, it's just flat, and it's just the whole back end of the car sticking out, but it's a thing to jump on and just have in the middle of the lake. So I mean,
dude, you're like 1,000 steps ahead. That's amazing. But like, if we just get Christmas style inflatables, we're going nuts.
Yeah, we got to do something like this for sure.
Love this, and I'm trying to keep all the ideas. I'm going to try and write them all down. But yeah, no.
By the way, Nikki, have you posted this in Nounsel yet? Because if not, jump in that Discord as well. Lots of announcers will be able to give you some feedback on there.
Hold on a sec.
Did you hear that? I think you might have been rugged for a sec.
No, I heard that. Where in the Nounsel?
So there's a
incubator or idea?
Yeah, prop incubator.
Either, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Or
I'm gonna make that in the prop incubator after this. Just make sure I have all the ideas down.
Awesome. We are running a little long on the show here tonight, so we have to wrap it up here shortly in respect for our people's time and Valko's time here. But Big Shot, nice to see you, man. You want to say something quickly about the inflatable guy, I bet.
Yeah, I've made inflatables before, like large 20-foot monkeys, and
let's do it.
I have a really good source here in the States. If you want to do something, there's a lot of requirements for it, but it's definitely not impossible. So just hit me up and we could talk about. And this is something.
I think if we do that, it could really blow up.
Well, this is something that can be.
Oh my god!
This is something that can be shipped from event to event because it's a reusable. it comes with it's not a suitcase, but it's a big case with its own self inflatable fan system. So like all that stuff is possible. Just hit me up. We'll figure it out over the next week or so.
Yeah, we're in that group chat, so just send me that info there.
Yep.
Amazing. Valko, wanted to thank you for joining us today. Any final words that you'd like to say about Nouns or CC0?
No, this was super fun. I knew there was a lot behind Nouns, but today just like cracked my eyes open way further than I could have even expected with FOMO and NOMO and just everybody's good attitude in here. It's great. I'm super excited and motivated to participate a little bit more and join in these spaces more. So thanks so much for having me. Really a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being willing to jump on. And it was a pleasure to have you here and introduce you to NOMO and FOMO and introduce you to the DAO. So appreciated you coming, and you're welcome back anytime.
The guest's so great, we tried to book him twice.
That's right. Robo Fisher was like, I've got an idea for a guest. I'm going to go DM them. And yeah, it was you, and I had already booked you. But anyway, we're glad to,
it's a feature and a bug.
That's right. A couple little housekeeping items before we break for the night. We've got a POAP for you for everyone who's here. And we've also drawn a winner for the 0.069 ETH award for someone who retweeted the room. Ryan, if the POAP is ready, you can give it now. And then I've got the retweet picker and we can close out.
Yeah, you can go over to poap.xyz. When you open the POAP app, you hit the mint button, then the secret word tab, and tonight's secret word is NOMO 007.
NOMO
NOMO 007.
Amazing. And I've got the winner for the retweet picker winner. Can someone give me a bit of a drum? Actually, I found it. The winner is High on Drugs. I mean, I don't know if they are literally high on drugs, but they are at High on Drugs. And congratulations. You've just won 0.069 ETH that you can use on the drugs of your choice.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if they're here at this time at night playing NOMO with us and have that moniker, good chances, probably.
Yo, I gotta. We got some updated POAP art too.
I was gonna say I wanted to shout out the POAP art just came through.
Yeah, I was just waiting for a quiet moment. I managed to get all of the recent POAP art updated earlier today. So we've had a few artists recently since 0x Dariush, who was doing the amazing AI nouns, and then we had
these Pumi pieces are nice.
Yeah, Pumi did a whole week. There's one animated one which is really cool, animated pixels.
Valko, we do a POAP every day on this show, and we also empower artists from our community who enter a lot of our contests. If they do really well in our contests, we'll often offer them to do a week of POAPs, and then they'll illustrate the noun of the day every day for our POAP, and we pay them for their art, and it's a good way to introduce new artists to nouns.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've actually got a new artist. After Pumi was Sweeka Squiggles, which is one of RFG's friends on board.
From middle school.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And also my Pride Nouns co-founder. He's doing all of the art as well as the front end for Pride Nouns, and has done a fair bit of the front end for Food Nouns as well.
Amazing. Yeah. And then
dude's an artist and a dev, and I was just like, I need to noun pill you immediately.
Did he do that Boyd one? This newest one? Because that was so good.
No, the newest ones.
No.
The last few are by Jangly. So.
Oh my god! So look at that Boyd one. Wow.
He did the Rose Parade one I told you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's in the water in the Philippines,
so
but the artists from Philippines are just amazing. They always do incredible art.
I know, right?
I think Jangly is from Philippines as well.
We got a couple.
The Void looks so good.
Artists.
Big Shot, your hand is still up. I'm not sure if that's because you had something else to say or if you're just stretching. But I guess he was just stretching.
Well, right. Yeah, and then after Jangly this week, we're going to have Trizzy Trunk on the week after doing artwork. And then after that, it looks like it's going to be Someone else who'll be fresh to the ecosystem, one of Pumi's friends, been actively noun pilling an amazing artist friend of theirs. So
cool.
Yeah.
What was the Nomo?
Hell
what was the
yeah.
Nomo word again? A few people were asking for the Nomo word again. Was it Nomo 007?
Correct.
Yeah. So NOMO 007, like James Bond. That should get you the Nomo. Although the window will close very soon.
The
we have to
POAP.
close these.
The POAP, you mean? Yeah.
The POAP, yeah. So the window will close very soon. So, all right. Well, we've gone over time. We've gone almost an hour and a half. So appreciate you guys sticking with us. It was a really fun show. Thank you to our guests. Thank you, Valko. Thanks, Nikki, for dropping by as well. And thank you to everybody on stage for making this thing work every single night. I'll play you guys out with the only song that we could possibly play for a star noun. It's just this. It's just this on loop. So that's all you get. Is this giving anyone else anxiety? I feel like I have to go faster.
No, it makes me
like
happy. I mean, I OD'd on caffeine earlier, but it's great.
Playing it. Never stop looping it.
Yeah, boy.
Excuse you?
The rogue soundboard from Nikki is always fantastic.
That wasn't a soundboard.